Hello and welcome to HT Auto. I'm your host Shubhadeep, and today is a very special day for Mercedes-Benz in India because this product right here is the 12th AMG that the company has launched here in the country. To speak more about the A45S AMG and Mercedes' plans, we're joined today by Martin Schwenk. He's MD and CEO at Mercedes-Benz India. Martin, first up, I've asked you this 11 times. I'm going to ask you this for the 12th time. Why so much focus on AMG? Clearly there's a demand and therefore the launches, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a very strong brand with AMG and we have a great following here. We have launched this now, as you mentioned, as the 12th model because we have an overall strategy to grow the footprint of AMG here. And to be honest, it's our fastest growing segment. So last year compared to this year, we grow 150% until October already. Of course, 2020 was a difficult year, but over the last couple of years, we have always seen that AMGs have the potential to outgrow what our other models do. So we will certainly continue to focus on AMGs.
Where is this demand coming from? Is it a sudden thing that you're observing, or is it something that's been happening gradually? Because, well, very frankly, the luxury segment in India continues to be rather small, rather niche. And in that small segment, AMG or performance vehicles overall are perhaps even more niche. So where is all of this coming from?
Nothing happens suddenly. It is, I think, a well-thought strategy which we have been following for many years. We started establishing not only vehicles but also a distribution network. We have the 4 dedicated AMG performance centers in the 4 major cities here. So we have a clear strategy to grow AMG and its footprint. And combined with that, obviously, a very strong product portfolio which we can select from a global perspective. So we have that on the one hand, and on the other hand, I should also mention that we have the production capability to produce AMGs, and that's why we also started doing that with the GLC 43, and this year what we launched, the A35 and the GLA 35. So we have really that idea of creating a portfolio which allows us different segments of customers to bring to the brand and make them part of this performance team, so to say. So that's really a long-term strategy which we do step by step by step, and it's from network to customer engagement, like events we do now, but obviously then most importantly the vehicles.
Right. A lot of key takeaways from that, but one of the key elements was your 4 AMG-specific performance experience centers. Now you, as I understand, have one in Delhi, Bombay, Hyderabad and Bangalore. Right. Are these 4 urban metropolitan cities your core base from where the demand for AMG performance vehicles are coming? Explain how much of a demand is coming from the different geographies of India. What are the target audience? Are these youngsters? Are these Mercedes buyers who already have perhaps one AMG or a non-AMG Mercedes in their garage already?
Well, let me make first a point on the performance centers themselves. I mean, they are then dedicated. They have dedicated staff, a dedicated sales consultant. We have dedicated workshops and a special competence there in sales and servicing for the cars. And then it's kind of obvious that where we sell most cars, which is in the metro cities, we also have most of customers being interested in AMG. So these are certainly the drivers of growth, and our focus is with that in more metro cities. We have also, and I think that's now also more available with, say, a GLA 35, which is a good combination between a practical AMG and still a very fast AMG performing vehicle. So we have also seen that in tier 2 and cities, but I think the focus is in people who really have this ambition to take the cars, to stand out, and also to drive fast and enjoy the driving. And we find them certainly more in the bigger cities. That is a fact, yeah.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about this particular car. I mean, first up, looks absolutely stunning, gorgeous. I mean, it looks like every bit the hot hatch that it claims to be. Now, at a time when SUVs the world over are quite the rage, are performance vehicles really not very dependent on their body type? Because, hey, it's performance, right? So does it really not matter what body shape it is, as long as you're giving the customers that AMG driving experience.
I mean, the body shape, there's a lot about personal preferences, and it's a lot about what you want to use it for. And if you look into what we're offering here, we have really, and if I stay in our A-class segment here, we have the limousine, we have the GLA S35s, and we have the high-performing hatch, which is the fastest hatch ever been sold here in India. I don't want to miss here that I had yesterday an opportunity already to ride it at 270 kilometers an hour, where it is automatically stopped then, but there's more, it could run more. I can clearly feel that it's fast. So at the end you want to service and to have an offering for different aspects of customers. So you will want customers who like the, how can I say, the practicability. They will probably, and performance is one element, but not the decisive element. So they might go for GLA. If I take, for example, the A35, we have customers who maybe never thought of buying an AMG. They come to the showroom, they come to an AMG performance center, and I know of a few of cases like this. They see the cars and they think, what is this actually? And they try and they start to understand what AMG is. They get curious, and they purchase the vehicle. Yeah, so they have a different view. They want a nice car like an A limousine, for example, and then they see, oh, that would be an option, and they take it. And then you have obviously the purists, the ones who are really into fast cars. They follow, they know what AMG is doing, and they're looking forward to what car could I complement my personality, my own car park with, and this is a car which we offer then to them. So it's a range, and of course high performance and ultimate performance as we offer it here, that is for sure more a niche than where you have people who still look for a broader usability and different, say they don't need the speed and so on, but they still want the brand and the specifics. So that's then a broader base, and for those we offer then, for example, also our locally produced AMGs, which is, as I mentioned already, the A and the GLA 35.
Right. As long as it's all in the Mercedes family, it really doesn't matter whether it's the A35, A45, or something even bigger.
To the customer it matters, I have to correct you here.
Fair enough, but a lot of our readers who are customers, potential customers, also ask us, these cars are super capable machines, but one persisting question that has existed has been, where do I take it out and drive? Do you think the infrastructure in India, we keep talking about electric infrastructure, but we'll come to that in just a bit. The basic road infrastructure of racetracks, we are here at NatTracks, which is a fantastic facility. Do you think that's changing, and that's also changing the mindset of people at large towards performance vehicles like this one here?
I mean, it's a broad question. On the one hand, say, infrastructure in India, I can see the big progress that is being made in many, highways between the cities. Yeah, so you have great progress there, and I would think the focus the government has in infrastructure upgrade will at the end benefit also, say, individual commute. So it's not all going into rail or into metros, which makes a lot of sense. On the other hand, I see quite substantial improvements also in the road conditions, and here, for example, Indore, I was already impressed about the highway condition we see here. So there is a lot of efforts there. Of course, you cannot race it. Yeah, you can maybe accelerate to some level and whatever people want to do. But and then if you have, there is more and more interest also in using the racetracks that are there. And for us as Mercedes, we're trying also to help our AMG customers curate drive events and create additional opportunities for them to really take the cars on the tracks. But of course, that is something which is growing step by step, and I'm sure more opportunities will always be welcomed by everyone. Yeah.
Right. Also, something that's growing perhaps not at the same speed is the awareness and preference, if I do stick my neck out and say preference, for electric vehicles. Now, personally, Martin, how do you see the future of AMG or performance vehicles at a time when electric vehicles are making headlines?
Well, that is one of the difficult questions.
I'll interrupt and say I'm comparing apples and oranges. I understand that. And yet, I'm going to make that comparison, ask you for your views.
It's a difficult question in that part, because a lot of AMG and how we all have grown up, we like the noise, the acceleration, the combination of the package, even the smell, I guess, a lot of us appreciate. And so, but on the other hand, we all know electrification will happen. Electrification happens through all of our portfolio, and the characteristics of electric engines or motors is in many aspects extremely helpful for creating high-performing vehicles. So I clearly see that we will have a track in electrification there as well, and offer similarly to the main portfolio also AMGs. On the other hand, I personally don't know what will. I'm not sure, because I still attach to say this
Conventional
the conventional feeling, and I'm sure a lot of that will also remain for the time being.
It's very interesting. We're talking about AMG and we're using the word conventional. That's something that's not happened in quite some time.
Conventional is, I mean, you know, all of this is permanent innovation. Yeah, it's permanent innovation, but conventional in a sense of it uses internal combustion engines which have developed massively over the years, like this 2-liter engine now with his 420 horsepower. I mean, this is a high-tech product, yeah, and conventional is maybe not exactly the right term, but it's a traditional ICE setup, though. Yeah.
Right. Martin, which gets me to my final question. 2021 has had its challenges, its opportunities. How is 2022 looking? Also, because the semiconductor issue is persisting here in India and the world over as well. How is 2022 looking?
I mean, let me have a quick look at this year. I mean, we are very happy how fast the whole industry could come back after the very difficult situation which we had in the peak of the pandemic, say in April, May. If you consider from July onwards, the demand, at least in our portfolio, was on levels prior to the pandemic, say in 2018, 2019. So the demand side is very healthy and has strongly developed, and I see that to continue. But you're absolutely right. The stress on the supply chain is significantly high. And that comes from semiconductors, but it comes also from tier 2 and tier 3 suppliers, where, I mean, you have constraints also in container shipments, in air shipment load possibilities. So there's a lot of constraints which create a lot of interventions and interactions to make sure that we can build vehicles. Nevertheless, we still fall short in that aspect, that the demand is higher than what we can actually supply, and I believe it will continue for some time. We will not be able within a few weeks to remediate that situation. We try to prioritize. We have also for semiconductors quite a strong priority from our Mercedes headquarters, so we get a lot of preference, but the global situation is still very difficult, and if I hear what the industry says and also our internal sources, it will continue for some time, and it has the unfortunate effect that whilst we are happy with, say, pre-pandemic type of demand and orders, we have customers waiting weeks and months, and that I can fully appreciate isn't create a lot of satisfaction. So we're trying to do what we can, but we have also to ask to some extent for understanding, because we have these the cars that are highly in demand. We had this year quite many successful launches, and this is not going to stop, will continue, and that causes additionally to the, say, overall market demand a lot of attraction to our products, and that's on the one hand very good, but I obviously am pained with the feeling that some customers really need to wait longer, and I can just say to all of those, our production is really doing what they can. We work in extra shifts. We try to do everything on shipments that can be done, but we are not able completely to catch up based on the, I would almost say, global situation in the supply chain and on the semiconductors.
Right. As I understand, 2022 will also have a lot of opportunities and may have its own sets of challenges. Martin, as always, fantastic talking to you. Very, very insightful. You've thrown light on a lot of aspects. And thank you to our viewers as well. Do check out the full track test review of this new AMG, the 12th from Mercedes-Benz India. For now, this is Shubhadeep signing out.